following is a presentation of the Pontywood Sports Network.
Everybody, welcome to the show. Chris Wallington made an intro, but it didn't show up like it's supposed to. That's what happens when you only get it when you get a few minutes before the show.
That's it, yeah.
But so
never fails.
It is Papa Love. We'll do it as a liner here in a few minutes. But welcome to the show, and we are here this evening.
Pizzeria
With a pizzeria with Coach Nick Brown. We have our pizza of the night. Of course, we have Coach's Special, which it's Larry Pierce got involved and called an audible. It's the meat lovers, but it also has jalapenos on it.
Yeah, I usually don't like it when audibles come up without me knowing.
Yeah.
But that was an all right one.
Okay, good deal.
That was a strong audible. I appreciate that, Larry. That was good stuff.
Heck yeah, that's the way to go right there. Got to run them Peter. And then the Buffalo Ranch pizza, I love that stuff. And I mean, you know, I'm over here sweating because it's good. But I mean, even if you get the Buffalo Ranch on your or the Buffalo sauce on your wings, it's excellent.
I know, but I had a piece earlier, and my mouth is still kind of tingling.
Tingly.
That's how you know it's good buffalo sauce.
That's right.
That's how you know it's good.
Good buffalo sauce at the pizzeria.
And, of course, this is the Nick Brown Show brought to you by Sabine State Bank, live here from the pizzeria, our pizzas of the night. We're going to take a quick break. We'll hear from Pizzeria and Sabine State Bank when we come back. We're going to get right to it, start talking about that scrimmage that happened last Friday night. Again, this is the Nick Brown Show here live on NETSN.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
I mean, welcome back. I just had a piece of that buffalo. It's got my voice gone. Oh, my. I'm going to tell you what, my sinuses are going to be cleared out.
Caught him right as we came back. That's awesome.
All right, Coach, let's talk about the scrimmage. We have, and just like anything else, right, the first time out under a new system, you had a lot of stuff to be proud of, and you got other things to correct. So.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was, you know, going into that, we knew, you know, installing a new offense, installing a new defense, like it was going to be a little rough around the edges. And but for the most part, you know, we showed the kids on film. You know, that's the nice thing about film, and that's what we always tell our guys. And I have to remind myself of this too. It's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. And you know, going through there, we did a lot of things really well. And then there's obviously some things we got to work on, but again, that's why you scrimmage. Okay, and that's why I'm even when I coach at the 5A level, like I was a big proponent of not doing spring ball just so we got that extra scrimmage and that extra week of practice. And so, you know, I was really proud of the way our guys got after it. You know, we didn't have an issue with conditioning. We didn't have an issue with, you know, guys not knowing what to do. You know, we didn't have any busts on our routes. We didn't have any busts on those things. It was just biggest thing was timing, aiming points, attack points, and those are all things you can fix in practice.
And not a lot of penalties, especially not a lot of pre-snap penalties.
No, so we did a really good job of not jumping off sides on defense and you know, going on our snap count on offense, and didn't have any procedural penalties, so that always good. I think we had one holding call, and but I think that was it. And so for a game to be that clean, or a scrimmage to be that clean, was very very encouraging.
Yeah, and you know, and not jumping off sides as a defensive player, that's a challenge in the system the way it goes.
Yeah,
because you know it was cool to watch because you just didn't know who was coming.
Yeah, everybody's moving, and we can send 3, we can send 4, we can send 6. We actually have a goal line package where we will send all 11. It's it's crazy, and so that was a big reason why Coach Hubbard was such a a home run hire for me as a first-time head coach was that I knew that our defense was going to be in good hands. I've played in his defensive system. I've coached with him in his defensive system, and this is nothing like what we ran when I was in college. But he's had a lot of success with it where he's been. And the biggest thing that with any system, whether you run the wing tee or whether you're running a four-man front or you're running whatever you're running, when the kids buy into it and they trust it, and I think that's what you saw on Friday night, especially defensively, as our kids are bought in. They love the system. They love the ability that they have. Our defensive linemen love the fact that they're not just running into a guy every play and trying to get a double team. They're able to shoot gaps and go make plays. There are some plays you can see on the film. You got defensive linemen in 2-point stances or 4 yards away from the ball, just getting a running head start at the offensive lineman. So it's a lot of fun to play in that defense.
So at one point, I mean, I saw. I think it was big number 77 who took like 2 steps back and then had a running head start.
Yeah,
I mean, he's 320 pounds of athlete.
Yeah, he is a freshman, true freshman, which I guess not. You don't say it in high school. He's a freshman. He didn't repeat a grade. He's a freshman, and he's one of those special type talents that you find around here that Center's kind of known for. And so he's one of those kids we're very, very pleased with. And his first day of fall camp, I told our coaches that, hey, he's going to practice a couple days with the freshmen, and he's going to practice a couple days with the JV. That sucker's going to be playing on Friday night. Like you can just tell with his, and he's our best when we're on offense. He's our best scout team guy because he gives our offensive line a really good look. Jamie Jenkins is a 3-year starter, all district guy. Like he knows what he's doing. He's an experienced offensive lineman, and he has his hands full with that freshman Jalen Henderson. He's doing a really good job. He's actually the nephew of the Evans brothers. And so I got a chance to talk to Juice on the phone this summer, and we were kind of planning out what we kind of thought about Jalen and how that works. I mean, it's the buy-in from that family and from Jalen. He's been doing awesome. He's learning real fast, and he's going to get his time on the field. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, I believe it was him. He got that running head start and just crashed right through the line.
So here's the thing. That kid is such a freak athlete. Like he could go out there and run routes with the receivers.
Yeah.
He could probably play running back, but he is such a force on the defensive line. Like he's going to get his school paid for someday on the defensive line. And so we're really excited about his future.
Pretty awesome.
So he may be, we'll see, because I was talking to your quarterbacks coach, and we were talking about how he's reminiscent of LaMarcus Goodwin, who was a contemporary of KP and of Octavius and Jeterius.
Yep.
And we called him the wrecking ball because he was built like that. He's about 5'11", about 315, and just, I mean, he would eat up blocks, but about 2 to 3 to 4 plays a game, he would just destroy whatever the play was. It just got annihilated. And that's what we're expecting from this young man.
Oh yeah, we call him the drill killer in practice because we're working offensive drills. We're trying to work down blocks or combos, and he just blows up a double team and call him drill killer. But his first 2 steps off the ball is just impressive. Like his feet are, like I said, he's got running back feet.
Right.
He could probably play anything on the field, but he asked me to. He wants to punt. He wants to kick. Coach, I can throw it. Coach, let me run the ball. Like he's just that. He's competitive, and I love it. He's got energy. He's awesome to work with.
So defensively, we had some really great plays, and we're gonna look at. We have 3 clips we're gonna look at and discuss here in a few minutes. But defensively, I think, the problem if there's a concern about the defense we run, if we don't get there, then the guys that aren't rushing, they have to be disciplined.
Yes. And so it's especially in the defensive secondary, it's big on eye discipline.
Yeah.
And so they have their rules and techniques to make sure they don't get burned on play action, to make sure they're staying deeper than the deepest guy. We have variations on coverage and things like that. But kind of the philosophy of the defense is if they complete a deep pass on us, it's and you're going to hear people in the stands who don't know, or they think they know everything, but it's like the ones that yell block somebody when they blitz 7. I got 5 guys, but it's get somebody on that. What if we give the quarterback enough time to go through his progressions, or if we give the guy enough time to make that deep throw, then really it's the front guys weren't getting their job done.
Right.
And so it's a high pressure, high intensity defense. But the good thing is those 5 guys we have on the back end are some of the best athletes on the team.
Right. What you do is you force the situation, right? Because you're either going to get there and get a turnover or a neutral play, or if they hit one. I mean, I don't think anybody's just going to drive the ball down the field on us.
See, yeah, and that's the whole beauty of the way the defense is framed up. Like in our defensive philosophy, Coach Hub brought this with him, is it's put the ball down.
Right.
Like regardless of the previous play, hey, just put the ball down. Let's play defense.
Yeah.
And our guys were hanging their head because they gave up a couple of big plays on a couple of drives, but we had to remind them, like, hey, how many points did they get?
Yep.
None.
Yep.
Like, we gave the offense the ball back. That's our job, And, in a couple of those long passes that Pine Tree completed, if you watch the film, we've got D linemen and linebackers buzzing the quarterback because they're not supposed to hit him.
Right,
And I think he would have been under a lot more duress
yes.
if we were able to go after him like we will be able to, when we play Jacksonville here in a couple weeks.
Very good. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think we had times we're going to see a couple clips where we had some really good run plays.
Yes.
And then also, I thought Wolf had several good run plays from the quarterback position.
And so that's going to be big. I'm a big quarterback run guy because it gives you an extra blocker.
Yep.
It creates a problem for the defense because they don't usually have a guy for the quarterback. And it lets us do a lot more of our fakes and misdirection and things like that. But also, we really, that's the hard thing about a scrimmage is during that controlled portion, we're on a script. So I have scripted plays that we're working on, and that's what we wanted to run. And so I'm not making adjustments during that time on, the defense. I think we threw a jail screen or a receiver screen, and they were in press coverage. Well, I'm not going to call that in a game, but we were just running down the script to get through those plays. And I think Easton and really, the other two guys, Greer and Zamarcus, they do a really good job of operating the offense.
Right.
And so it's one of those things where, it's a good problem to have where we know we have three guys that could go in and operate the offense. But, I think they all did things really well. But, Easton gives you a different animal in that quarterback position.
But man, I really like Zamarcus's arm. I thought he's got a really live arm.
He's got a great arm, and he's one of those guys that he's got all the tools to be a really, really good quarterback. And I think we just keep developing those, and that's why I told Coach Parks, hey, you're going to earn your money this year because you got to pick one of those two. You got to find us a quarterback, and he's been doing an incredible job with those guys and the growth of those three specifically.
Right.
Because when I got here, like Easton was a straight defensive guy.
Yeah.
He was kind of the backup quarterback and didn't really play a lot of offense. And so that was one of our first team meetings was, hey, look, nobody's like positions may all change. We're all going to learn the offense. We're all going to learn the defense. And one thing I told him was, hey, you can't marry a position, because divorce is hard.
Right.
And so, we're going to put the best guys in the position to help the team the best. And I think all three of those guys have responded, and they're all still fighting, for that QB1 spot.
All right, very good. Pierce, you got anything to ask?
That's what I was
you
gonna
were
talk
there.
to you. Yeah, I was there. I was checking out. I really liked your defense. I'm a big defensive line guy. And a couple questions I had for you first, especially coach the offensive line. I was really happy with the offensive line with what they did. I saw them getting out, doing some pulls. I saw them blocking downfield, and they did some really impressive things down there. And so I think as an offensive line, you probably pay attention to that a little bit in there too, because it all starts in there. So I think those guys did a really good job.
Yeah, and I do, and I have to make myself go to other parts of practice, but I do spend a noticeably more amount of time with our big boys because again, that's to me. You say what you want to say. If those five guys aren't in tune and that unit is not operating the way it should, the rest of it doesn't matter. You could have 4 all-state receivers and an all-American quarterback. If those 5 guys up front aren't taking care of business, it's not going to matter.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah, like I said, I thought they did a good job. But another thing I wanted to give it to coaches is I know it's been a hot summer, and I know there's a couple of things that went on out there, but I thought that it was hot, too, because we had the light delay, so the humidity really came in, and it really tested your conditioning. But I was really impressed that it looked like everybody came through it pretty well. So, through this and all, your conditioning, you said earlier, that was pretty good. So, how everybody come through it, I mean, did okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. And, our conditioning we get during practice. I've never been because I always hated as a player when you get done with practice, you're dog tired, and coach said, get on the line.
Sprints.
Yeah, it sucks. Because what happens is guys may not go as hard in practice. And it's human nature. They may not go as hard in practice because they know they're still going to have to run. So I tell our guys, hey, if we run practice the way we're supposed to and we're getting the reps that we're supposed to and we're going the tempo that we're supposed to during practice, that's your conditioning. So our linemen like today, we had a run hole straight into team, and they probably ran 50 plays. And our receivers had pass hole, they had routes on there, they worked the screens, they worked during team. So our receivers probably ran 70 to 75 routes today. And so that's a game's worth of, reps in one practice. Right. And so I tell our guys, as long as we're staying on tempo and you're giving me effort and energy in practice, we won't have to condition after. And I think that showed, Friday night, even with the delay and with it felt like you were breathing in cream cheese. It was like thick air. And we actually had to do our freshman and JV scrimmage in the dome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about. I was going to see your next thing was what the report you got from your coaches, because they were in the Ryder Dome. You weren't really over there too much for that, so they were over there for that. So what did your report come back from the younger guys over there?
Well, and so what really nice was our freshman group is very talented, and I think we have almost 40 kids out on just the freshman team. So we have a huge number of kids out. And it was really good, and I thought they got after it really well. Our JV kids, it's kind of your mix. You've got mostly sophomores and some juniors, and some guys are kind of tweeners, or we're kind of getting a lot of reps on JV because they may be playing on Friday nights. But we have kids playing. I think we've converted 2 receivers to quarterback on that JV because they didn't have a quarterback, and so it was very fun to watch. They played fast, they played hard. Again, didn't have a lot of busts, and so the report I got back from those guys, and I got to see the tail end of it because I was trying to work with the other coach, trying to figure out, working with the referees, trying to figure out what time we were going to start and all this, and communicating with Mr. Henson about PA and an announcement, making sure. Anyway, it was crazy, but I got a really good report on our sub varsities, so the future's definitely bright.
That's nice. I like to hear that. That's
when
good.
the lightning's going all around, it's very difficult, it turns out, to convince the folks to get out of the lightning rod.
Yeah, I felt bad for our trainer. Our trainer was driving back and forth on the side-by-side. Please, go back to your cars. Get out of the aluminum stands. There's lightning, please.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But, yeah, it was all good and a good crowd out there. And then we had the Meet the Riders on Saturday, too. So that went really well. Looked like a good crowd out there. And
was a good crowd.
Was enthusiastic for that.
It was. I was not told that we normally do it on a school weeknight. So they told me to pick a day, and I thought, well, you know what, don't have anything going on Saturday. But I thought we had a good crowd show up, and the kids are always loving it. That's one thing that I've noticed about Center, just in my short time here, is that the community support for all of, from junior high all the way up, people show up to everything. Right. My first thing here, going to soccer games and going to baseball games and softball games, even at track meets, we have people, we travel very well. And Meet the Riders was no different. The town here, the community of Center really, really supports their extracurriculars.
Right. Yep. That's awesome. Good to see.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to some of the clips. Our first clip is, I think, a defensive clip.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, and we should be on, you should be able to talk during it, so we're going to do that now.
All right, so this is your bad intentions right here.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Boom.
Look at the way that guy's head rocks back. I mean, he's untouched. His vision for the ball and the way he reads run plays is it's hard to teach a kid how to do those things. Yeah. And to see how well he does it is pretty amazing.
Right, and
the typical the nose for the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll look at it again because it's not just him. We actually have a lineman coming in and really cutting off any kind of
and so that's the big thing. Our line is the D-line are taught attack points, and so depending on the stunt that they're on, they're never taught to just hit a guy straight up. You're taught so let's say right there the nose was on a stunt. He's working against the opposite hip of the guard. So if the guard is zone stepping, that's hard for the center to chase that guy.
Yep.
And so that it just causes it creates open lanes for our linebackers to run. This defense is made for everyone to make plays, but it's especially for your linebackers. So to have linebackers as fast and aggressive and that read the ball so quickly here, it really works well with what we're doing defensively.
All right, very good. Now the second clip is going to be an offensive clip.
Yes, sir.
And I think this is which one of our running backs is it?
This is Bluford.
Yeah,
yes.
Bluford.
The young man is fast.
He is very fast.
He is so fast.
Yes, and he's two top speed. Look at 1, 2, 3 steps, and he's in the open field. And I wish I'd have done the end zone copy of this because our down blocks here by the right side of our offensive line were really, really good. And it helps when you got a 6'5", 400-something pound tackle down blocking on a guy. That helps.
You see the big man get downfield.
Look at that boom right there.
there.
That linebacker, he couldn't see the sunlight.
No, that's something good there. And having to do a lot of fluctuating on the offensive line. Having really 2 returning starters in Ja'Cory and Jamie, and then Peyton Fountain played a little bit last year, and he's moving into a new role on the left side. And then our guard, Caden Nutt, who started he's still not ready yet. He had something surgery on his something taken off his back or something, but he's still in recovery. And so he's been at practice every day helping his coach kind of, but we're ready to get him back in there. But that's another freshman we have is Adrian Acuna. We call him Cowboy. And he's been getting in there and doing really well. And so I'm really happy. It's hard enough to find 5 good linemen, but I feel like we have really good depth on our offensive
Yeah,
line. So we've got 7 to 8 guys that I feel very confident we're able to roll in there and give us a good look and give us a good, front.
That is a good thing. And a lot of people don't realize, having those extra linemen where you can give those guys a little break and so those guys that can play different positions is huge and monumental for football teams nowadays.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then we have our third clip is, I think, another running play with a different running back.
Yeah, so this one's a screen to one of our running backs. And so this is something that I've always been big on is getting our guys ball in space. If you have a really good running back like that's Jesus Villegas, he's a sophomore. And, he is a little, you can't tackle him in the phone booth.
Screen to the running back there, is that what it was seeing?
Yeah, and so it's just a fast screen out to our running back. Just, hey, as fast as we can, let's get the ball in his hands and let him do what he does. Right, and the way he moves, he's so low to the ground. I mean, you can see right there, and then he's full speed, and he turns a catch behind the line of scrimmage into a big gain for us.
Right. Nice.
All right, very good. So, again, we had lots of good stuff come out of the scrimmage. As always, you can see what you need to work on and start dealing with that. And so, I think it was a pretty positive experience overall.
For sure.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll hear from a couple of sponsors, and when we come back, we'll then move on to our next topic, which is, I believe, is going to be Rider of the Night. We've already talked about number 77, but we have another defensive lineman that we're going to discuss. He's going to be our official Rider of the Night. We'll talk about that when we come back next. This is the Nick Brown Show here, live on NETSN at the Pizzeria.
You know that Ace Hardware of East Texas is all the hardware you need, but there's a lot of other things they have too. Fun things for your camping trips. Fun things to wear when you go outside. For the 4th of July barbecue, to the house warming in the fall, to your Christmas shopping and clothes for all year long, it's Ace Hardware, the helpful place of East Texas.
Sandy Cox State Farm Insurance in a Center has the agents to take care of all your insurance needs. They remind you to update your policy after a life change, never put off the death policy conversation, and always have home insurance or renter's insurance. Whatever your insurance needs or questions are, or even if you need to make a payment, Sandy Cox State Farm Insurance in Center.
JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
The team at McAdams Propane is committed to fueling generations of East Texans, and the work Billy Bob and Lisa McAdams started is growing under Josh's leadership. What began in Center has grown into Livingston and Marshall, Henderson and Carthage. For propane, it's McAdams.
Everybody, welcome back. Again, it's the Coach Nick Brown Show here live on NETSN. It's time to talk about our Rider of the Night. Goes along with our Pizza of the Night, which is, again, the Buffalo Chicken Pizza, which is excellent. But so, Coach, who have you chosen to kind of highlight this evening?
Well, I think it's a senior, Quincy Simmons.
Yes.
And he plays defensive end for us and kind of is an anchor on that defensive line. And he was actually one of the first kids, when I moved here,
yes.
Who kind of bought into what we were doing, and that's a big piece. I think I talked about it last week. The biggest thing for me was getting these seniors bought into what we were doing, right. Because they didn't ask to get a new head coach their senior year. And I remember the first time I told them, hey, we're going to be doing morning weights, so we're going to come in before school, get our lift in. That way, during the period and all that, we can get to work. And I said, so if you need a ride, get one, because that's not having a ride is no excuse kind of deal. And he walks up to me and said, Coach, if you want me here every day, you're going to have to pick me up. All right, buddy. So since I moved here in March, I've picked him up. I picked him up this morning for meetings. And so I picked him and his brother up, and we just have a fun little car ride over. And it's kind of like the way I start my morning every morning is picking up Quincy and his brother. But he's a hard worker who gets in there, runs scout team for us when we're on offense, and goes hard, has a high motor.
Yeah.
And he's, like I said, he's there every day. Even if I don't get him a ride, he's still there. But he's for sure there when I give him a ride. But he's there. He's tuned tuned in. He's a leader, in the weight room. He's a leader in the locker room, and he has really emerged as kind of one of those guys that you can always count on to be present, to be there, and to make sure. The biggest thing is to make sure that his teammates are doing what they need to do as well. He's holding his teammates accountable too.
That's so important. That like I said, I was in Harry Potter. We said it's tough enough to stand up to your enemies, but it's even more tough to stand up to your friends.
Yeah.
And
Never watched any Harry Potter movies.
I'm sorry about that. I guess your kid was too old for that, but it was right in mine's wheelhouse. But something like that. I just remember last year, Quincy was a solid player, but then once or twice a game he would make, and several times in the season made an exceptional play, and he would.
He's one of the. I mean, he's one of those kids too. Like, he's just a freak athlete.
Yeah.
To be the size that he is, he moves really well.
Yep.
And this defense especially is made for kids like that. They can get off the ball well, get off the ball fast, and he can. I mean, basically his rule is go sick 'em. And he's doing a really good job with that. And again, he's always happy. He's always smiling.
Right.
He doesn't let anything get him down. He's got a really short memory, and he's always got a good attitude. And that's, to me, that's more important than how good of a player he is, which he's a really good player and is going to be a really good asset for us when we get to games.
Right. And so in his position, sometimes he's rushing, but he will also kind of drop back and get out in the flat.
Yeah, he could drop out and shoot out to the flat if we have some kind of zone blitz on. And he's, like I said, he's one of those kids. As soon as we started showing film in the spring. Coach Hub came in a couple of weeks in the spring to start showing the kids some film of the defense, because it's hard to explain what we do. Like, if somebody asks what kind of defense y'all run, well, hey, look, we base out of an odd stack.
Right.
That's it. I don't know.
Flip a coin, see what we want to do.
Figure it out. Yeah. And so, we were showing the kids some film of it, and so we were showing, hey, this is the position that we see you and you playing. And so we sat down with Quincy and we're showing him, and he just was grinning ear to ear. He's like, so I don't have to touch anybody. I just go hit the quarterback? Like, yes, Quincy, go get the quarterback.
That's right.
Okay.
What's interesting, the 3x3's been around for a long time, and generally, I mean, the way we're using it is just kind of different. I mean, it's kind of
put a little spin
it
on
is,
it.
And so the I guess the official name of the defense is called Eat the Captain.
Eat the Captain.
And that's what it is. And so it's a kind of a Jaws thing. Like, you'll see Coach Hub on Fridays wearing a hat that had a big shark bite out of it and said, we're going to need a bigger boat. So that's, we had to teach the kids about Jaws, though, because none of the kids had seen Jaws. We were aging ourselves. Right. But that's kind of the thing. It's like, we're playing offense on defense. We're not going to let the offense dictate to us what we do. We're going to do what we do. And if I had any way to equate it, if you're an offensive guy, like, it's basically the flex bone of defenses. We're just going to it's going to work. We may give up a big play here and there, but for the most part, you're going to have a really tough time. I think one of our goals is, 50% of the snaps are either for no gain or negative gain.
Right,
and we were at 55% of the scrimmage on Friday night.
Yes.
And so we're right on track with where we want to be.
That's
and
right.
it's just effective. It looks like when he drew it up for me, he's like, can I run this? I was like, well, first of all, you were my coach. You can run whatever you want, as long as you don't get me fired. And but drawing it up, I was like, I don't know, But then, like, watching it in action, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's it. It looked good out there. That's all it.
All right. So, and then Quincy, he's a senior.
Yes, sir.
Do we know does he have any plans for after high school, or?
So, he and I have discussed that, and he's been talking with, Coach Parks is our recruiting coordinator.
Yes.
And so he's been talking with that, trying to weigh his options and see.
Yeah.
And, anytime anybody sees, we have a prospect sheet that has all of our kids based on class, And so anytime we have a coach come in, they always ask about him. And so I think he's going to end up getting some good looks. And, unless you're a big Power 4 Division I type guy, your senior year is when you're really going to start getting some traction.
Yeah.
And I think that this defense, especially in the way that we have him set up, is going to be big for him to get a lot of looks going into the season.
And not to get on our soapbox or anything, but the NIL stuff has made it even more difficult for
especially at that level. I mean,
Yeah.
for most of the kids, 99% of the high school athletes will never be able to go to a program that has NIL. But I know the UIL is trying to protect against that. So, you can go into agreements your senior year, but you can't receive funds until you get to the campus. But I mean, that's always a big conversation when you have those kids that are your Power 4 big time college recruits, for sure.
Yeah, but what concerns me is some of those guys will go to a big school, it doesn't work out or whatever, but they don't stick it out, and then they'll come down and go to a smaller school and to get reset and
Right.
then go back
And then
up.
go back up,
And I
yeah.
think
I think that's kind of really, if you had, I mean, nowadays the way it is, because you know they really don't take any of the kids out of high school hardly at all. You got to be, it does happen but I would tell a lot of kids nowadays that would ask me, I would say, man, if you get the chance to do a D2 or D3 to get started, go get your education. And go do that way. Because if you go up there and you lose that, then you lose a lot more than what you think. They don't tell you you're going to lose that scholarship.
Yeah.
You're going to lose this. You're going to lose that. Start here and build up. If they're not going to give it to you right away, start here and build up.
Yeah, the transfer portal has really affected high school recruiting, especially in the since COVID especially.
Yeah.
But really with the transfer portal, with kids being able to transfer as many times as they want to, it really has. So, like, for instance, like 8 years ago, and I use the University of North Texas as an example just because I was so close to them for so long that I had and I knew their director of recruiting. He and I got a chance to share some stats and stuff like that. But he was saying, in 2021 they took somewhere between 14 and 15 high school signees, right, and then that dropped down to 10, then it dropped down to 8, then it was 6, because if your competition's getting their kids out of the portal, they're getting kids with experience. They're getting kids that have college playing experience. That are already NCAA eligible. That they would rather take a chance. They take their chance on those guys, and then it really trickles down. So I've got kids, and we signed in Aubrey last year. We signed 9 kids to go play college football. It's the most in school history.
Yeah, awesome.
And we had, I'm thinking of one kid in particular. He was a legitimate. He's 6'1", 185 pounds, ran a 4.4, a legit prototype Division I athlete, and he's at a junior college right now because he's going to start there, and then from there he can get his experience and get looks, because that's where basically your JUCOs and your Division IIs and Division IIIs have turned into what high school used to be.
Right. Yeah,
and so it's just teaching kids, like, the D1 or bust mentality can't be your only way out, because if you have that mentality, then you blow off all of these smaller schools. Like you said, you lose an opportunity to get to go do the ultimate goal, which is I get to play football 4 more years.
Yeah.
Right.
Get to get an education.
Yeah, and Stu, I mean, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but you could look at it. There are some kids that are in college that have basically put their whole football career in college. They're 26, 27 years old.
Yeah,
you get to keep good in there.
Well, and you get have some kids that are on their 5th school. They go to a different school every year, and then you get into the NIL thing where, hey, Carson Beck was the quarterback at Georgia, right? And then he gets paid $4 million to go for a 5th year and go to Miami. Like that's crazy stuff to me. Like, those guys are making more than pros.
Exactly, it's crazy.
Well, it's an interesting time. We'll see how long it lasts.
I'm waiting for they to do that for broadcasters.
No kidding. No kidding. Well, that's our dream, is that
we're a dime a dozen.
They're gonna pick you up and
some one of these days. Yeah, we're gonna be bought out.
We'll go to the transfer portal. But no, but I'll tell you what. No matter how big we get, we'll be doing NFL on Sunday or Monday night. We'll be back here Friday night.
Right, yeah.
I'll come do some color commentary for you at the Texans game or something.
That's right. All right. So we're going to go. We'll take a quick break. We're going to hear from Sabine State Bank and a couple other sponsors, and we'll come back and we'll do our fall sports update, and then we'll get a Piney Woods update.
Now, they're talking about they got a schedule release going on, and so I'm going to have my own schedule release since I'm not on that show. So be ready for that.
Come on, Larry.
Come on now.
All right. So here we go. We'll be right back, folks.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. One of the things that Scott Watson was passionate about was staying up to date. He wanted his facility to be comfortable, but not comfortable like you remembered it growing up. From the lobby to the spacious and modern chapel, Watson & Sons never stops getting better. The Watsons, their family serving yours.
Portacool, with over 30 years of expertise, has made significant strides. In October, they introduced the Apex series, which is a breakthrough in the field of evaporative coolers. The Apex series is not only the coolest, both in terms of temperature and design, but you can also control it with your phone. Portacool, peak cooling, intelligent control.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Everybody, welcome back. It's our third segment, and it's kind of a combined segment. We're going to start with Coach. Let's get an update of what's happened in the last week in our other fall sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think tennis is actually going on right now, and you talk about two people that are absolutely amazing, Coach Dykes and Coach Cooper. Between the junior high tennis and high school tennis, have that thing rolling. It's like a well-oiled machine. So they got people over there all the time doing tennis. So tennis is going on. Volleyball is playing tonight, and I think their game Friday got canceled, so we're trying to find a new game Friday. But volleyball has been rolling really well in the Tyler tournament this past weekend. And I talked with Coach Hall today. We kind of do a weekly sit down and go over everything and how everything's going and how how everything's going. And she was very pleased with how the girls played. And the biggest thing is coming off of a kind of a rough season last year, and then coming into, like you said, a new system, new coach, new way of doing things, and the girls have really responded well. And we've got some very talented young ladies out there on the court, and I think Coach Hall and her assistants, Coach G and Coach Mendez, have been doing a tremendous job getting those ready. Cross country had a heck of a week last week. I think they won. Had two teams finish. I think all teams finished in the top two. And two got first place at the first cross-country meet. And it's just everything's going really, really well. And then getting our first scrimmage, got junior high kicked off, football started, volleyball started, cross-country started. So the Rough Riders are competing in something somewhere.
Excellent. Well,
you're not busy, are you?
No, I'm not busy at all. Yeah.
All I know is I've had some input from several volleyball fans, and they are exceedingly pleased with the program. And
Coach Hall has been doing a tremendous job. She's making me look really good.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you want.
All
right. So everything's going well. Tennis doing its normal thing. Volleyball got a good start to the season, and it sounded like a great start cross country. All right. So Mr. Pierce, let's hear what you have to say, and let's do your scheduling show here.
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm ready for some volleyball. We're going to start off with Gary at Shelbyville in the second.
You got to get to the Rough Riders.
I know. That's why I'm saying our first Rough Rider schedule is for the 9th when Ore City comes to town. So we'll be there for that. And then Center will be traveling over to Timpson, so we'll cover that one as well. And we'll also have the Center Lady Rough Riders whenever Hudson comes to town. Okay. So that'll be be the three that I have for the Lady Rough Riders for volleyball. So we're looking forward to that every Tuesday night starting in September. But yes, my schedule release, Piney Woods area games of the week. My schedule release coming up on the beast from the big beast of the East is going to give you his schedule. Okay, here we go. Here's what we got going on. The schedule for the Shelbyville Dragons and the Joaquin Rams, the Timpson Bears, and all of them all together. It's going to go like this. We're going to start off. We're waiting for some permission from Coach Ross in Beckville, but I think it's going to be okay. On Thursday the 28th, St. Augustine at Beckville. On the 29th, first Friday night, Troop at Shelbyville. Then we'll be in Joaquin on Thursday the 4th for Beckville at Joaquin. Thursday the 11th, it is Joaquin at Tenaha. On the 12th will be Hemphill at West Sabine. On the 19th, Mount Enterprise at Shelbyville. On Thursday the 25th, this is Wolf City at Timpson. They're playing that game in Tyler Grace, and my good guys over the Tyler area are going to be there to take care of that game. They're going to do a great job for the Timpson Bears there. And then that Friday night, Carlisle at Shelbyville. On the 3rd, we'll be in Timpson for Hooks at Timpson. On the 10th, Joaquin at San Augustine. And on the Thursday the 16th, it is Timpson at Shelbyville. Then on the 17th, which is Friday, Mount Enterprise at Tenaha. On the 24th, Shelbyville at San Augustine. On Halloween night, Cyrus' favorite night, but he won't be able to be with us on that one night because it's going to be Joaquin at Shelbyville. Hoorah. And we'll wrap up the last week of the season Thursday. Garrison at Joaquin, 11-7. San Augustine at Timpson will be the final game of the year, and then it's playoff time, baby. And who's going to win it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mount Enterprise versus Tenenbaum. That's Coach Scott Ponder coming home.
Coach Ponder.
Coming home.
Hey, I tell you what.
He's probably going to be a good homecoming for
That is a good thing.
for the hosts.
It is. And Coach Ponder and his Mount Enterprise guys over there, they are really good. They're ranked really well this year. And they're also going to be playing at Shelbyville, too. That's going to be a good game as well.
Oh, that's going to be
a good one there,
burner.
too. So we're looking forward to that.
We covered Mount Enterprise in probably round 3.
I think so last year.
Playoffs in Crockett, and they lost a gut wrencher. I mean, they very well could have won that game. But
definitely.
But anyway, so it's gonna be fun.
But just to let everybody know, tonight's actually we're getting through this week. Thursday night, I will be in West Sabine for the scrimmage for Shelbyville and West Sabine. We're going to set up a call about a quarter, just trying to make sure all of my equipment works right. And then Monday night, it's on the 25th. We're starting. We got our first coaches show. It's going to be at the Place of Grace with Coach Wallace. And then Tuesday night, we'll be back here. And then Thursday, football. Friday, football. Saturday, first coaches breakfast with the coaches. I'm ready.
It's the best time of year.
I love this time of year.
I love
this time
So,
of year.
so on that Saturday on the I guess it's the 30th? 30th, right? So we're going to have to – the breakfast's going to be a little early because there's a
plethora of games on. I know
a
Coach wants to be there with that too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I mean, right, well, I was going to ask. I'm assuming you're
I think
coming
we got
for
to
the
start about
pancake
8:30.
breakfast.
Yeah,
we have
I'll
to
be
start about
there.
8:30 so we can get everybody food in and out of there.
There's a small college football contest going on at 11 o'clock in the morning that day that I have a small interest in.
I think I heard about it.
I think I heard about that one too. I'm not for sure. Is it going to be on national TV?
I think
sure. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be on the Ocho with this year. This is the Ocho game, ain't it?
But it takes second fiddle to the pancake breakfast.
Yes.
I can't wait because, like we said, we've got is it going to be Jenkins? Is it we don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, to come back.
Bellinger.
Well, we know Bellinger will probably be there.
Yeah, I think he wrote that into his contract.
Yeah,
he has to
part of
come
it
to
does.
all the
He's
pancake
already-
breakfasts. Yeah.
But I mean, we got the two guys that have been there that know how it works, and they're going to teach the other guys.
Yeah, they got to teach him for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There you go.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's up next, and we will do that up next.
JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
Did you know that Joe's Car Spa was voted best car wash again in Shelby County? And it's not even a car wash, it's a car spa. And then Reed will give you a personalized code, and that way you can get 5 or more $12 car washes for just $8. I'm gonna tell you, that makes a lot of sense, don't it?
Sure does.
At Aurora Concepts, we offer full-service primary care. And we provide physicals for student athletes for every sport. Aurora Concepts, let us take care of you.
I just smile.
All right, welcome back, folks. So now it's what's up next, and we're going to get that changed over here on our topic show. Hope everybody enjoys that. It's kind of a fun thing. Larry Pierce found it. Thank you, Larry, for designing our show presentation here.
Sweet.
So up next, we got a scrimmage this Thursday.
Yes, sir.
What time?
So we pushed it back a little bit to kind of beat the heat a little bit and to help us out with travel, with not getting out of school late. And but so our sub-varsity is going to be the same format. Our 9th grade and JV will be on a split field going at the same time.
Okay.
And so that'll start at 6. And then varsity is going to kick off at 7.
Okay.
And it's going to be a little bit different format than the Pine Tree scrimmage. You know, your first scrimmage, you kind of want more of a scripted segment and not as much of a live segment.
Right.
And this one is kind of be flip-flopped. And so we're going to go with a shorter scripted segment, and then we're going to go play a full live half.
Oh,
And so
good.
game clock, get a full half in. That way we get to work our subs and work on our special teams. And you know, none of the special teams will be live, just like they normal scrimmage, but we'll get to work on those things and work on our sideline stuff. So it'll give us a chance to really simulate a true game situation, and playing the defending regional champ and getting a chance to play the a state semifinalist is always a good measuring stick for a program. And I've always been I don't know if that's something I learned where I was before, but if you're wanting to make a deep run in the playoffs, you have to play really good teams, and you have to scrimmage good teams, and you need to play good teams in your non-district. And so I think our schedule this year is set up that way. But, yeah, we're really looking forward to going over to Kilgore and getting a chance to compete against one of the best teams in the state in 4A.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
All right, very good. And so we'll do a full half because we did a quarter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we did a quarter on last Friday. So this we'll do a full. It'll be game clock run. Clock will stop. They'll mark off penalties. It'll be because that's a good thing for the referees too. They really like when we do that because they're training up and thankfully we have a lot of young guys coming out to be referees because that's why you have so many Thursday night varsity games is it's hard to find officials. And so that's something that we're always as coaches obliged to help with because we couldn't have games without officials. And so, but I'm really looking forward to the live half and getting a chance for our guys to see game speed for an extended amount of time before we go into week 1 over at the Tomato Bowl.
Exactly. So I mean. What can you just tell us a couple of things what we were looking to improve on? I mean, the things that.
So I think the biggest thing was we're wanting to clean up some of the sloppy play, wanting to clean up some of those kind of missed blocks or those missteps, wanting to clean up some of our attack points. Definitely want to see some improvements. In our consistency, we would pop off a big play here and then have a negative play, or we would have a good 2 or 3 plays and they would have 2 or 3 not so great plays, and so I think it's just cleaning everything up, becoming more consistent. I think is the big thing going into the scrimmage.
Yeah, the good news is it's not like saying we got to fix these procedural. I mean, we
lined up in the right formation every time. We ran the right play. We ran the right routes. We did all of our stuff we were supposed to. That we can't spend a lot of time, or that we can't. It's harder to fix. The things that we need to work on are things that we can work on in practice. And so that was the really good thing. We weren't outmatched. We weren't out physical. It wasn't like one of those things like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a rough year. It was like, no, we got to fix a few things here and a few things there. Because if you look on a couple of our runs, if we hit our attack point the right way, well then we see that crease, we make a bigger gain. Or hey, if I take my step, at this angle instead of false stepping, and a lot of times offensive linemen I stepped. But they just pick their foot up and put it right back down in the same place. So those little things that you can fix and work on in practice, which we have this week, those are the things that you're looking for to get better at.
Awesome.
All right. Larry Pierce, you got any final thoughts?
I think I'm good to go, man. We've been waiting a long time for it, and it's on, and it's ready to get after. So they're ready to see the crowds. Let's get behind all the teams, and let's have some fun. Thanks for everybody for joining us for what we do. We really appreciate everybody.
All right, and we'll see y'all next week. It's still up in the air whether we're going to try to make the trip up to Kilgore and cover that because we had a lot of folks watched and so we want to try to do that. If we contact those folks and make sure that that's okay with them, but if not, we'll see you next Tuesday as we start ramping up, getting ready for the Jacksonville Indians.
I just want to remind everyone too that new this year we have the sports ticker that'll be going across the games. So please download our app. It's absolutely free, Android or whatever. Go to the app and update the scores, and it'll be going across the screen during the ball games. That's a new thing we're adding this year. Some new scoreboards and a new ticker. So check out our app and subscribe and like us on our YouTube channel. We appreciate it.
The NETSN app is really cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, folks, we'll see y'all soon. This is the Nick Brown Show here live from the Pizzeria.
This is where legends rise and moments are made.
They're still on his feet. Come on, still on his feet.
From the buzzer beaters to the game winners, we bring you the action. Raw, real, relentless. We cover every angle, every story. From the streets to the stadiums.
He's going all the way.
Your favorite athletes. Your teams.
Ford breaks the tackle. Oh my gosh.
Your passion. All in one place. New games, live shows.
Here he goes. He's got some blockers.
This is the future of sports media.
There he goes. Quick in the secondary.
This isn't just a network. This is a movement.
Ooh, oh, he ran over the defender.
Welcome to NETSN Game On.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Pinewood Sports Network, an affiliate of NETSN. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.